All right, guys, so I just zoomed in a lot for you so you guys can see everything that I'm doing versus if it was a little far back, I feel like that would be too far for you guys. So anyways, the first thing that we're gonna do is start by cleaning our brows. So I'm just taking some alcohol on a Q-tip and I'm running that through the eyebrow area. And I do this because I want the product to grab onto the skin. If you guys notice, when your area is moisturized around your eyebrows, the product can start to get a little slippery. So that's just why I'm doing this. And also, if you're wondering why my skin is red, it's because I just filmed how I grew my brows. So if you want to check that out, I will link it right here for you guys. Once we have that done, we're gonna get right into the eyebrow. The first thing I'm gonna grab is my Kelly Baker brow powder, and this is in blonde/brown. I really love to start off with this because I feel like it lays down a base before I go in with my pencil. And to apply the brow powder, I'm using the Kelly Baker spoolie brow brush, the eyebrow brush from Kelly Baker. I'm going to be using that and her powder. So the first color I'm going to dip into is the brown side. I don't really use much of the blonde on me just because it doesn't show up on my skin tone that much. So I like to start with the brown. Sometimes I mix them both too, just so it's not too dark. So I'm going to start by brushing up the brow hairs like so. And I like to have a natural brow, guys, so I'm just gonna fill in the areas that look sparse, and I also like to start on the bottom like so. So I'm just running that along the edge of my eyebrow, and I'm flicking it up into my eyebrows. All right, so now I'm gonna take the spoolie and I'm gonna brush downwards. And you can see all of the sparse areas that need to be filled in, so I'm just gonna do the same thing on top. I'm gonna mix more so on the blonde side and dip in a little bit on the brown, just because I don't want it to be too dark on top. I still want my eyebrows to look very natural. So when you use a powder versus a gel, it can come out to be a lot more soft and natural. Sometimes a gel is just way too harsh and it can start to make your eyebrows look blocky. But if you like that look, that's what, you would want to go for. If you want softer brows like how I'm doing, I like to use a powder. And also, you guys, I'm just following my natural arch. And this makes it a lot easier when you have freshly groomed eyebrows. So I do recommend that you have your eyebrows done. If not, you can clean up with concealer. It's just a lot harder to see the shape. So here I'm taking the pointy end of the brush and I'm lightly flicking the powder. I'm not really brushing it heavy through because I want the front of the brow to be light. And then you want to take your spoolie and softly run that through. This is going to help to blur the powder so that it's combed more into your brow and to make it look more natural. All right, guys, so I went ahead and filled in the other one, and as you can see, we filled it in nicely with the powder. You can still see there's a few light areas, but that's why we're gonna use the pencil. Okay, the powder is more so just to fill in the blank areas, but it's not meant to be defined. It's just to add more coverage. So anyways, now we're gonna move on to defining. And for that, I like to use a pencil because again, I like to keep this natural. With brow pomades, it can get a little heavy duty and it's a little more tricky because you need the brush as well. So I feel like this is just a lot easier for people. So yes, this one that I have right now, I usually use Kelly Baker, but I just ran out of the shade dark brown. So that's the shade I like to use on myself. But for right now, I'm just going to be using this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. And, there's some hair on it. All right. Let me zoom in. So as you guys can see, I really love a pencil with a really small defined end, I guess you'll say. It's a twisty. So yes, this is what I'm going to be using. It doesn't have the shade name on it, but I believe this is like the darkest one. It's like a dark cool brown. I really forget the name. I'm so sorry. I'll try to link it down below if I remember what it is. But you can see, as you guys could see, the end was kind of dull. So what I like to do is push it out, and then, I don't know if I can show it. Here we go. I'm going to kind of slide it against the end. So I chopped it off. So now you guys can see I have a very nice sharp flat edge, and that's exactly what you want. The next thing I like to do is to define. So if you want to add in some brow hairs, you can do that. I'm just going to go ahead and add a few here. So I lightly slash, I like to draw a line. But be careful, you guys, that you don't make it too dark. Please be careful. So I'm just going to lightly, very, very lightly draw on a few lines. You guys can kind of see right here, it gives the illusion of more brow hairs. So I'm just gonna brush down and kind of go straight lines diagonally. You wanna just follow how your brows lay naturally. And then you guys, when you get to the tail end, this is where I like to just define the arch. If you need to pull out a little bit more, you can do that. That's the great part about having fresh brows, because you can really create the shape that you want. And then I'm taking my spoolie and I'm gonna lightly brush down so that we can blur out the product and brush it into the hairs. And then I'm gonna brush up. And then I'm lightly drawing a line. Lightly, you guys, just so I can have that shape that I want. Now we're gonna switch to the bottom of the eyebrow, and same thing again, just gonna be more so lining the shape out and really perfecting it. Ooh, yes, look at that brow, you guys. Oh my God, she looks good. So this is how it's looking so far, you guys. This is the shade that I like because I have dark hair, but I am thinking of trying lighter brows. So there might be a future video where I try dyeing my eyebrows, but for now, this is the color I go with. It's like a cool tone brown. But yeah, this is how it looks as soon as I use the pencil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side. All right, guys, so moving on, we're gonna move on to brow gel. And the brow gel that I'm gonna be using is the Clear Setting Brow Gel by Kelly Baker. This is a really good eyebrow gel, you guys. It has like a really good hold to the hairs, and I also love the spoolie. I'll show you right here. So as you can see, the spoolie is nice and detailed, kind of like a mascara, very similar to a mascara wand. It's gonna really get into the hairs and coat every eyebrow hair. So this is just basic, you guys. You're just gonna pretty much run it through your brow. It's clear. But I really like to do this step because it actually helps to define your eyebrow hairs and help the look of your brows to look more natural. Because as you can see, from this side to this side, the hairs are standing out a lot more, and it's blending in to the fake eyebrow hairs that we drew in. So that way your eyebrow naturally looks way more full. So just lightly run that through your brow. Don't be too aggressive with it because you don't want to wipe away any of that powder and brow pencil that we laid down. And this is a really good step too if you are one to have really stubborn eyebrow hairs. The next step that we're going to move on to is cleaning up the brows because they look a little crazy. You can stop here if you want, if you like this look, but I really like I love having a defined brow, but also keeping it natural. I just feel like cleaning it up makes it look more put together. So what you'll need for this step is some concealer. I do recommend a mattifying concealer or a concealer that dries down matte, nothing luminous, because it's just going to keep the wetness under your brows and that can really mess up the product. So unless you set it with powder, but I just recommend using a matte concealer. So what I'm going to be using is this NARS Soft Matte Cream. Yes, it is a cream, but it's also soft matte. So that means that it dries down. And to clean up the brow, I'm using this Morphe M421 brush. And as you guys can see, it's very thin and precise. It's perfect for carving out underneath the eyebrow. If you don't have one of these, you can also use your, let me see. You can also clean this off, the angled brush that you used for the eyebrows, and you can use this to clean up the under part of your eyebrow as well. This works good as well. So I'm just dipping into a bit of product on the brush, and I like to wipe off any excess because you don't want too much buildup onto the brush. And this is in the shade Ginger, if you guys wanted to know what color I am. So once you have that, then we're gonna start cleaning up the brow. So I like to start at the front, and you kind of just see your way. Like, don't start up too close because you can't take that away. If anything, I would recommend starting lower and then slowly bring up the concealer to the shape of your liking. So I'm gonna start right here. I usually start where my natural eyebrow hairs start, and then I just start to create my shape. Like I said, there's so many different eyebrow shapes, you guys, and the one that compliments me the most is the rounded, just because I have a round face. So I try to make it arched as much as possible, but not too much because I still want to look youthful. I feel like thin eyebrows, I can't really pull off. It makes me feel old. I don't know, personally. Alright guys, so this is how it's looking so far. I did catch one or two hairs that need to be tweezed, but I don't have tweezers on me right now, so it's just gonna have to stay that way for right now. But this is the shape that I'm pretty much liking. So I really like using this cream because I can play around with it and drag it how I want to. Sometimes when you have too wet of a concealer, it can kind of get slippery. So if you need help with control, I do recommend trying a cream concealer. Or if not, another good concealer that I like is the Tarte Shape Tape. That formula is really good for cutting eyebrows as well. All right guys, so the next step is to blend out that concealer, and you want to do that with a brush. So the brush I like to use is this one by Wet n Wild. This is like a flat eyeshadow brush, but I really like how it blends away the concealer under my eyebrows. Just some kind of small fluffy brush where you can blend away that concealer. So what I like to do is I pat it and drag it down. The front one, I like to buff it and blend it inwards like so, and then I brush up to clean that front part. And then the rest of the way, I just pat it and pull it away. And as you can see, it's blending and melting in so beautifully. Okay, so I just want to mention I just carved this out and you guys can see it was an easy clean line, and that is because I have less lower eyebrow hairs on this side, like I said, compared to this side, and that's why some of them grabbed onto a few hairs that I ended up trimming down with some scissors since I didn't have tweezers. But this is exactly how it looks when it's a nice clean line on freshly done brows. So that is how you get a really nice and precise look. So yeah, same thing, you just want to lightly drag down and buff a little forward at the front of the brow. It's okay if it blurs out the front portion part, and you can flick up a little like that if you want to, because like I said, I like to have my brows look natural still. So I'll blur the front, but then I'll keep the rest very defined, and that's why I just drag down. I really avoid getting it into the hairs. So as you can see, this side is a little more arched than this side, and I have a little bit more fullness on the tail end compared to this side. So I'm just going to really I'm going to tweak this side, as you guys will see, just to match it more up on this side so we can have nice and precise brows. Hey guys, so I'm back, and quickly off camera, I redid this eyebrow because I felt like it was looking a little too heavy, because that's not how I like my brows to look. So I did the same exact steps just to get it more similar to this one, and it came out a lot better. The only thing that I switched around was to save the brow gel to the very end, because I noticed usually it's not a problem, but I don't know why just now I noticed that the pencil wasn't grabbing onto the skin because the brow gel was in the way. So I'm pretty skilled at this, but it's just one of those times where I had a mess up on it. So if you guys are just trying this out, save the brow gel part till the very end. But anyways, you guys, this is how we're looking. I'm so obsessed. So we are almost done. I'm going to be a little extra because this is a very extra brow tutorial. So now I'm going to take this brow, what do you call this? This tinted brow gel from e.l.f. And this is in, the shade name is rubbed off, but this, I'm pretty sure it's in the shade dark brown. It has fibers in it, you guys. So I'm just going to start at the edge, and I'm gonna run that through lastly just to fill in any sparse areas. Like I said, my eyebrows are like medium full, so I need all these steps to make it look like my brows are really full and natural, because as you can see, you guys would probably think like all of this is my eyebrow hair and I just use concealer and powder. Like, no, we did so much, okay? So that's how this looks. The fibers help to define the hairs even further and add on those fibers to make our brows look full. So I lightly graze the front, but from here on out you can be a little more heavy-handed to your desired liking. So same on this side. So this is the end of the e.l.f. brow gel, and you guys, it's so small that it's perfect for the brows. As you can see, I doubt you can see the fibers on the spoolie. They look like little lint hairs, but this just really helps to make natural brows look more full. All right, guys, so for the final step, you can stop here. Like, you can completely just be done here and start your makeup, but I want to finish off the top of the brows. Now, you don't have to. Some people will use their foundation to carve out the top, but I feel as though like you can really mess up on that, and we want to keep this somewhat easy. So for my recommendation, this is a Q-tip dipped in alcohol, and I'm just gonna clean up any like excess product that came up too high, like powder, anything of that sort, and I'm just gonna wipe it away. You can also use a makeup wipe too, but this is how I clean up the top of my eyebrow so that I don't have to have that stamped on brow look. Some people really know how to do it good, you guys, with carving out with foundation. I'm just not that good at it. Like, it always turns out like too makeup-y, if you know what I mean. So this is what I like to do to the top. I'm just trying to get it even as much as I can and then cleaning up. And you guys can see all of the product that's transferring onto the Q-tip. That's what we're cleaning away. These are the final brows. This is how they look, and now you're officially ready to start your makeup. I really hope this tutorial was very informative and easy to follow. I know I had a little mix up with the brow gel and I had to start this one over, but same steps. Like I said, just switch the brow gel to the very end so it's not too difficult for you guys. But overall, this is how I achieve my eyebrows every time I do a full face. And it usually takes me about like 15-ish minutes. It used to take me 30 minutes, you guys, but like I said, your brows aren't always gonna be perfect, and if they're not exactly how you like and you still gotta rush to do your makeup, just like save the tweaking until like the very end of your makeup. Because when you finish everything all together, it's like you start to think like, okay, the brows aren't even that bad. But when you don't have any other makeup on, it's the only thing you see, you really start to focus on it. So don't completely like get, discouraged if your brows don't come out perfect every time. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video, and like I said, I hope you learned something from it. Comment down below what you think, or if you have any questions for me, I will be more than happy to answer them. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can see when I upload a video. And don't forget to follow my social media linked down below in the description. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below. And yes, if you guys have any future video suggestions, feel free to leave that as well in the comment section. I can do anything from skincare to makeup to hairstyles. If you guys like this kind of stuff, I'll probably record that for you. I'm just trying to get out content if I can. And yes, anyways, guys, I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.